Hi everybody, Jacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. I have a really important topic today. Top compliment getter perfumes. The fragrances that you've seen many people on YouTube make videos about. Videos in which people tell you, you want a compliment getter? Get this perfume. Do you want to walk at work, office, or to school, or public transportation, or business attire, and you want to get people to know, or on a date, or dancing, or shopping, and you want to get people to notice your smell and to come to you and to say, boy, oh boy, your perfume smells amazing. What is it? You're also probably going to see sooner or later, if you haven't already, content creators talking about the so-called panty dropper perfumes. Now, usually it's the kind of alpha males, the alpha wannabes, all that stuff that kind of, it literally, in my humble opinion, is unaliving the entire fragrant community. But you've probably seen those videos as well, right? Where a guy stands with a chick and he's like, so let me tell you, what is that? How does this perfume smell? Does that get you horny? Does that get you, Does that get you what? And the chick is like, yeah, I really love this. This smells amazing. Oh my God, I would definitely jump in bed with you if you wore it. Okay, so we've seen that, but there's something else that we, for the most part, haven't seen yet in a video that talks about a list of fragrances that are compliment getters. Well, first, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Patreon, Super Dakeable spelled together there for extra perks. Thank you to my patrons who have pledged. I'm filming this video in front of my patrons, so I have my co-chatters in the sidebar, and I will be reading the chats if something pops up interesting. Listen, this is the deal. What you will not hear most people say, and also what you will not hear most brands, fragrance brands say, is, well, a couple of things. They're not going to be honest about many things, but in particular, when it comes to intimacy and your private personal sphere. Because here's the deal. In my humble opinion, perfumes are a powerful tool to access emotional states inside of you, memories from your past life, or memories of just emotions and vibes, sometimes even far away epochs that you haven't even lived in. But if you're smelling a perfume, let's say from the 20s or the 10s, sometimes there's a vibe about that smell. It just takes you there. And time travel in perfumes is a thing, in my humble opinion. And I have made a video about the top 10 time travel perfumes, or perfumes for time travel. It does sound cuckoo, but it might just be less crazy than you think. So check out that video as well on my channel, top 10 time travel perfumes. But what I'm getting at here is that for me personally, perfumes are an intimate thing. I would never recommend you to wear a fragrance for others. You see, I would always recommend you to wear it for yourself. In fact, most of the perfumes I wear at home, in the privacy of my own home, when I'm alone or with family. I enjoy them like I would enjoy a good cup of tea or a good coffee or a nicely mixed blended cocktail or mocktail or a juice or a delicious specialty cake. It's a special treat that embellishes my day. And I go through these kind of snacking on these delights throughout the day several times, snacking on different snacks. So yes, throughout the day, I will wear 10, 15 perfumes. That also means, and yes, another video is also coming soon about how I recommend you to apply perfume. But I apply perfume not the way you would usually when you leave the house, spraying all over the place and just like thinking, okay, this cloud is going to last me the whole day. I savor. There's special perfumes need to be worn on special parts of the body, and some need to be sprayed 3 times, some half a spritz is enough. And there's kind of that beautiful, delicious figuring out the balance of the smell on you and which perfume does the trick, which perfume hits the spot the most. If we're going to limit and segregate perfumes to a mere and simple, this is a compliment getter. Every time I go out and I wear this perfume, the chicks stick on me and all of them just want to go to bed with me. Well, if you're going to limit it to that, might as well just, turn into an animal, a ferret or something, and just kind of lift that leg and spritz your hormones on yourself and rub your butt on somebody else and say, marked ya, tagged ya, now you're mine. Well, perfumes are a little bit more sophisticated than that. Perfumes are also a little bit more evolved than the mere instinct, the mere animal sexual instinct that we usually limit ourselves to. And perfumes can embellish a mood. And interesting point here. Most people are going to ask, oh, Jacob, so which perfume should I wear? Because I love getting compliments. And then I know this is kind of a very unpopular opinion, but I do not like to get compliments while I'm wearing a perfume when out and about. Absolutely no. In fact, usually the perfumes that people smell on you the most, and just my personal experience, and by the way, everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. But for my personal experience, when people approach me to ask, oh, what perfume are you wearing? It's usually then when that perfume doesn't suit me very well. It's usually then when that perfume bounces off of me and does not blend with my character, with my own chemistry, but rather the perfume is wearing me, I'm not wearing the perfume. That usually signals to me that, okay, I'm going to stop wearing that fragrance. Because perfumes that are very much really, really noticeable on you are also the ones that other people might think would smell good on them. So it's a very egotistical thing. It's not something connected necessarily to you and how sexy you are to that person in that moment. The fragrances that I have worn, that I love the most on me in my life, we're also talking about perfumes that I have repurchased several times in my life. Those are the ones that I have never, ever gotten a compliment on wearing when out and about. Never. Interesting. And the way that I deal with intimacy and fragrance is I wear them for me, not for you. I wear them for me exclusively. Do not fall victim to brand marketing and ploys of brands most people have fallen victim to already by thinking and believing what they tell you when they tell you, hey, this perfume is for a man, this perfume is for a woman. How limiting. Perfumes know no gender. I've been saying this for years. Wear what smells good to you on you. There's no reason to ask if a perfume is for men or women. Makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. Who decided one day that a rose is a feminine thing and not a masculine thing? Who decided that a lily is masculine or feminine or masculine? Who decided that ambergris is more male than female? Who? Some idiot sitting in brand marketing of some brand thinking, we can make more money if we do this. And you're falling for it. Just like you're falling for this notion of a quick, horny pick-me-upper when it comes to fragrances. Why are you falling for it? Why do I think it's a scam? Well, let me tell you, it facilitates something. It facilitates quick production of fragrances with really cheap aroma chemicals that just need to smell relatively acceptable in the opening notes. And then as you go down towards the dry down of the fragrance, the ingredients just fall apart and it becomes a chemical mess. Disgusting. But they get you because you don't invest the time anymore to actually smell a perfume on, you spray it on, wait for an hour or two, see how it develops, and then make the decision to buy something. Usually the really good perfumes are not amazing when you first spray them on. The opening notes, sometimes shock you. And then later it meshes with you, it blends in with your chemistry and it becomes magical. But these are things you can discover in time. And you get that time when you're alone at home and you invest time in a perfume. And the perfume is going to be your good friend. In some cases, your best friend, because the perfume will give back to you, but you need to give it time. But most of these brands, well, they kind of know that people don't want to have, people have been educated. Consumers have been educated by brand marketing to not take the time to make the right choices. Brands don't want you to take the time to make right choices because brands don't want you to make the right choices. Brands just want you to consume. Just keep buying, boo-boo. Keep spending that money. So they want to limit the time that you actually need to feel if something is good for you or not. So they've turned this whole conversation into compliment getters. Oh, well, this perfume, every time, the sales associate, every time I wear it, I always get compliments. Spray it on. How does it smell? Smell it immediately. Top notes, sweet aroma chemical that kind of smells inviting and inoffensive and cute, maybe attractive, youthful, because that's what brands want us to think is sexy. And you smell it like, oh, yeah, it does, yeah. Yeah, you're going to be the talk of the town if you wear this one. Oh, okay, I'll buy it. And you buy it, you go home, you wear it out on a date, and after 3 hours of wearing it, it's either completely gone or the dry down sucks. Ya been had, ya been scammed. And that's how it works. So, but the good perfumes are the ones that make you compliment yourself, are the ones that make you go, let me smell myself even more. When you get to that dry down and then you just keep sniffing yourself, but it's a very intimate thing. And these perfumes do not emanate, don't project as much. They stay close to the skin. Another point, a really good perfume should be there for you and for a very special loved one that you allow to come really close to you. Intimate, in other words. And when they come that close to you, only then will they smell the dry down of that magical perfume. So that magical perfume is not there to lure them in from 20 miles of distance already, like a freaking lasso in the Wild Wild West, capturing a person, just with your perfume. No, that's not the magic. The magic is you, with your charisma, with your own pheromones, capture that person. And then when they come really close, kiss you somewhere, then they catch a whiff of that magical potion that you have on. And now that is what a perfume is supposed to do. Coincidentally, don't apply perfume in these two areas, because if you have these erogenous zones here and you really like to be kissed there, don't let your special someone, with their tongue and lips go on that area and numb their tongue completely because they have perfume all over their tongue. Then that's not a good thing. You have to be very strategic about where you place perfume. But that's a topic for another video. When it comes to the top perfumes that are compliment getters, bottom line is this: the compliment getter is the perfume that makes you compliment yourself while you're wearing it. So this is why this is not a top 10 list. We're all different. We all have different chemistries. We all have different preferences. We all have different stories. We all have different loves. We all have different passions, jobs, hobbies, cultures. So to each their own. I can tell you this much. For me, it changes. It's always on rotation. There's always something else, something new. So what I can share with you right now, a special cocktail that I have discovered as I'm filming this video in the hottest heat of July. I am going bananas for a specific cocktail for me, and it only works for me because I'm wearing it at home. I'm not wearing it outside. It's a bit intense, but let me tell you my cocktail at the moment. Rive Gauche, Yves Saint Laurent, Eau de Toilette. The current formula, I know a lot of people don't like the current formula. I don't care. I think it's fine. The ratio has to be 6 sprays to 1, And the one spray, crazy, I know. I've never been a fan of beige, and here we are. Beige Eau de Parfum, with its sweetness and honeysuckle and hawthorn and honey, mixed with the dry 70s floral aldehydic white floral accord of Rive Gauche, the dusty, powdery, dry, arrogant, snobby Rive Gauche, mixed with this honey bomb. Ratio 6:1, not necessarily layering them. You spray this in a circular form around you, and you spray beige on your chest. So they don't really layer, they will mix up in the air, and then when you smell it in your nose, you're going to be like, wow. This one, with its dryness, grounds this sweetie pie concoction. They're both aldehydic fragrances because every Chanel perfume has aldehydes in the opening notes. But this is not the aldehyde bomb that Chanel can be, like, for example, with Chanel number 22, which is kind of the most aldehydic of Chanel fragrances. This is kind of a Yves Saint Laurent version of Chanel number 22, so kind of, they have a similar DNA. However, this is quintessentially Yves Saint Laurent. And, but they marry each other so well. I don't need anybody to tell me, oh, Jacob, you smell so good. What are you wearing? No. All I need is myself to keep sniffing, trying to guess, like, wow, what is this concoction, this cocktail? It's amazing. It also dries down really beautifully on clothes. So like when you smell your shirt the next day, you're like, you catch a whiff of the blend of these two together. It's just majestic. It works for me right now. I would not tell you the same thing next week, maybe not even tomorrow, but it's a vibe for today. And you do this for yourself, not for others. The biggest compliment getter is the compliment that you get from yourself, perfume-wise. And you have to feel what a perfume is telling you. It's very difficult to think that a perfume speaks to others. A perfume that you're wearing, thinking that you're choosing a fragrance in order for you to wear the fragrance so that that fragrance, once you're wearing it, speaks to others, luring them in. Think about it. It's very, very difficult because you don't know every human being out there. You don't know how their olfactory sensibilities and sensitivities are. You might smell amazing to one person and you might stink to somebody else. In other words, you can't please everyone, and you never will. And as a content creator on social media, I can tell you this, I know it firsthand, because I mean, I get people telling me, I really don't like the content that you're making right now for one specific video. That exact same video will also get a comment from somebody else saying the complete opposite and saying, oh my God, Jacob, I love this content that you're making so much. Keep at it. Keep going. So you will never please everyone. And you're already spending all your time in this particular weird construct of society and culture in which we live in to please others. You are being extra polite. You're kind of hiding your identity. You know, some people say, some psychologists even say, you know, human beings have three identities. One is the surface, the actor that you show in public. Then there's the semi-public, once the cameras are off or once you're only with your intimate sphere of family and relationships. That's where you show another face of you. And then there's the third secret side of you that you never show to others. Your secret personality. You see, the perfumes that I choose to wear are always the ones that my secret personality loves the most. I never wear the perfume that my superficial persona is all about. I don't care. And so you're spending already all your time in public acting, you know, behaving in a certain way to be accepted by society, giving compliments when maybe you're envious of that person, and instead you say something nice at work with your boss. You're gonna, lick that boot instead of actually saying what you really might be thinking. Now, if you add on top of that the layer of wearing a perfume also for the same purpose of suiting your charade, mask, acting character persona, then you really have nothing left to your name. You have nothing left. There's no character trait in you that gives you a nuance, a shade, something to make you more interesting, a chip in that porcelain, a dent in that porcelain plate and that porcelain cup. There is something interesting that I think in Japan, they've mastered this technique. I'm not so sure if in China as well. But when porcelain breaks, they glue it together with gold. And there's like a gold line that connects the broken pieces together. And that doesn't make that object less worthy. It makes it more special, actually. It makes that particular object even more precious. And it's a whole art. That's what perfume should be. You are that porcelain piece of plate, cup, mug, and you're broken. We're all broken. Listen, don't sit here watching this video thinking, holier than thou, I'm perfect. What are you talking about? You're not. None of us is. We're all broken. Perfumes, if used correctly, are that gold glue that glues us together. Partially, okay? Parts of us are glued together thanks to that golden glue. But you don't want to show to society that you're broken because your secret self is the one that's truly fallen apart. So you're going to end up using a perfume that doesn't suit your broken pieces. You're going to choose a perfume that you think suits others. That's going to be quite detrimental to you long term. Choose the perfume that glues together the broken pieces inside of you. That's going to be the perfume that will never get you compliments. Because nobody will see your cracks on the surface. Because while in society, you will keep acting as if you were perfect. But that perfume will always remind you, well, you're holding it together. You're keeping it together. And it's a beautiful thing to acknowledge it. It's a beautiful thing to be strong enough to acknowledge that for yourself. You don't have to tell it to others. Heaven knows how many times a fragrance has kept me together. When I was falling apart, I'm like, girl. And then the right perfume just hits the spot and gets me through the day. This is why I say perfumes are my best friends. I don't mess with perfumes. I don't use perfumes. I coexist with them. They talk to me, and I respect them for that specific reason as well as for many other reasons. But this is why the ultimate compliment getter perfume doesn't exist if you're mirroring yourself in society. The ultimate compliment getter perfume only exists if you are honest enough to look at yourself in the mirror and notice the cracks. Embrace the cracks and find the right smell to go with them. And when they mesh together, you will be whole again. However, wiser and stronger, because you will accept those cracks and keep moving. You will not be in denial, like some people are when they choose the wrong fragrance, for example, because they choose it for others, not for themselves. That denial is very detrimental to your health, to your mental health. Just my humble opinion. I am no mental specialist or doctor, so I cannot give you mental health advice or tips. I can only share my experience with you. And from my personal experience, it's those fragrances that I have chosen because of those personal intimate needs that I had. Those are the ones that have gotten me through the day in the best of ways possible. And many a time, those perfumes were not easy fragrances to love. But then again, I'm not easy to love. And I accept that. I accept the fact that a lot of people find me complicated, very opinionated. People don't like opinionated people. People like the yay sayers. People like the illusion that everything is uncomplicated, that every video they watch is just tiny little puppies falling off of pianos, laughing little birds building a nest. Sure, you can live in that illusion. If it's good for you, it's good for you. But I'm waking up. It's not good enough for me. I want the truth. I want something that gives me a notion, a material notion of who I am. Because perfumes, as much as they feel ethereal, they're very much material. They're built of molecules, after all. You might not see them, but they're there. And they aid me on my journey towards finally discovering who I am. So the best compliment getter perfume is the perfume you wear and then you compliment yourself for it. Let me know your thoughts down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's different than my usual videos, right? It's not a list. Top 10 perfumes to wear to get compliments. No need. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. Love you loads. Quick comments here. Yeah, the kintsugi art of the gold broken pottery. We are broken and it's okay, says the Spina. Yes, right? That's a beautiful imagery, says Gloria. Thank you, Gloria. Kev says, oh, this is deep. I never get compliments either, says Kev. That's a good sign. It's a good sign when you don't get compliments for a perfume you're wearing. Another reason why you are not going to get a compliment for the perfume you're wearing is if the perfume really suits you, if the perfume really fits you in that moment, people won't even realize you're really wearing a perfume. It's just going to be so naturally a part of you. It's going to blend so perfectly into your cracks. People won't notice it. But when you wear a perfume that doesn't fit you, that doesn't suit you, it will bounce off of you. It won't fit into your cracks. It's not the right fit. People will then notice it. That's when you're going to get the compliments. But not because the perfume suits you, just because they're going to notice that you are wearing a perfume. That's just my interpretation. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thoughts down below and thumb up the video if you liked it and subscribe. Bye.